Welcome back to Anything Can Be a Podcast with Taylor Cartago. I'm Taylor Cartago, and anything can be a podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but around fairly recently, the new Wicked for Good has come out in theaters, and I'm a big Wicked head myself. I watched the movie a year ago, and I think I watched the musical. I don't remember, I might have been a little. But I'm here today with the wonderful One Train to talk about Wicked and describe what it means to me and what it may mean to many of people that go in. If you're watching Wicked for Good in the near future, then it would probably be a good idea to watch this one. We're explaining the first half, we're explaining the story, we're kind of getting into it, we're kind of learning a little bit about the characters, and I think that this moment here is going to be real important, you know? So, first off, what is Wicked? Wicked is a word that many use to describe something evil, something bad, something that is not particularly good. Hence the title of the second one, Wicked for Good. A little bit of a double entendre there, for good being like, for good, forever, it's done, your actions have consequences and the things that you do are now final. But also for good meaning, oh, like, for good, it's like we're doing this for the good and not for the evil, you know? So it's kind of a little play on words there, for good. And between you and me, I haven't seen the second one yet. I'm watching it tomorrow, so I don't really know if they ever say the words for good in the movie. But maybe they do, maybe they don't. Anyway, Wicked starts out, and it's a little bit different than the first one, or than the musical. Sorry, the movie's a little bit different than the musical. It starts out, and it's a little voiceover of Glinda. At this point, named Glinda. She goes by Galinda earlier on, and we'll get to that moment. But she goes by Glinda, and she's like, the evil witch is dead. The evil witch is dead, you know, and it's a shot of just her hat, like in a little tower. It's a shot of Elphaba's hat in a tower, right? And it's a bunch of like munchkins and all the people of Oz going like, oh my gosh, like the witch is dead. What? Oh my gosh, are you sure? Are you sure she's dead? And Glinda's like, yes, I'm sure she's dead. I saw it with my own eyes, you know. And they're all like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Now, for context, many people know about the hit 1939 movie, The Wizard of Oz. Was it something? Was it like when did The Wizard of Oz come out? 38. 38 or 39. I might have been 39. But The Wizard of Oz came out in Technicolor. It was a huge feat. Everyone knows the story. You know, it's Dorothy. She's in Oz now. She's trying to get over to like what do you call it? Back home to Kansas. She lived in Kansas before, and it becomes a whole thing. You know, she's on an adventure. She sees a lion. She sees Scarecrow, she sees a Tin Man. They all ask for things from The Wizard of Oz. Hence the name of the movie, The Wizard of Oz. And what do you call it? Yeah, so everyone knows the story. At the end of that movie, spoiler alert, Elphaba does, in fact, perish. You know, Elphaba is, what do you call it? Yeah. She melts because she melts in water. That's a key factor and plot point that they mention, I think. I don't know if they mention it in Wicked, but they do mention it in like The Wizard of Oz. And there's a whole thing that will happen in the next one, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, now we're here, and everyone is like, oh my gosh, the Wicked Witch is dead. Oh, Wicked Witch, as in like Wicked, the movie title, Wicked. And they're like, oh my gosh, the Wicked Witch is dead. This is like amazing, this is crazy. They're celebrating, they're all happy, they're in Oz, they're cheering. It's like a bunch of like just like munchkins all like walking around like, oh my gosh, like it's great, it's awesome, right? And Glinda, she comes in, her vehicle of choice is a giant bubble that is bright pink that pops when she lands, and she comes down and she's singing and she's like, no one wants the Wicked, and then she's singing and she's like, oh, no one wants the Wicked. It's a whole thing, and everyone's like, hooray, hooray, hooray. They're all cheering, they're doing dances, and then Glinda's like, oh yes, this is amazing, and this is a key point in time for all of us here in Oz. Our trials and tribulations and hardships are now over, right? And in the midst of this celebration, in the midst of the celebrating, you hear one of the little kids, one of the kids down in Oz, in the middle of like the celebration on the Yellow Brick Road. Yellow Brick Road being the same motif used in The Wizard of Oz, right? When you go to Munchkinland, right? You see, this is a little girl, and she's like, "Oh, hey, did you ever become friends with Elphaba?" I don't know how she knew this. I don't know who told her, because no one else in this movie questioned it up until this like 7-year-old girl asks Galinda, "Hey, did you ever know the Wicked Witch?" Which I thought was kind of a funny detail, but you know, it is what it is. And what do you call it? Yeah, so Glinda's like, yes, I did, and all of them are now like, "Oh my gosh, wait, you knew the Wicked, you knew the Wicked Witch?" And they're like, "Well, it's a long story, right? It is a long story. This movie is, how long, like 2 hours and 41 minutes? It's a very long time. I'm gonna be so real with you guys here, right now. I watched this movie right before shooting this video on ×2 speed, and I didn't even finish it. And leave a comment down below. Where do you think I stopped watching? So anyway, it's now like a whole thing. They're telling the story. They go back, right? It's a bit of a little song and dance, you know. And they're like, "Well, Elphaba was born to this woman and this guy, but the guy was like cheated, I think, and there was like a potion of some sort. Something happened and it was magical, but it wasn't like, I don't know what the potion did. I don't remember fully, but I do know that like her dad was kind of like the worst, which is just a plot point they added, right? So they have their first child, Elphaba. What is it? The nurse that's helping deliver the baby is a full bear in a nurse costume, and they're delivering the baby like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be amazing." All the chords are beautiful and resonant, and it sounds amazing. And they're all like, "Oh my gosh, it's just wondrous, it's beautiful," you know, like, wow, it's a baby, the gift of life. And the baby comes out, and they're all like, "Oh no, the baby's green." And they start panicking and they start freaking out, and they start thinking to themselves like, "Oh man, like the baby is like a very like vibrant green color. That must mean that she's an awful person." And that's a theme of the whole movie. I'll let you sit with that one for a little bit. But it becomes a bit of a tough thing, because then they have another child, right? Nessa Rose, I believe is her name. And Nessa, she is, you know, not green, right? And she is in a wheelchair. A little bit of representation for people that are in wheelchairs. But she is not facing the same difficulties and trials and tribulations that someone like Elphaba, the baby that was green, faces. So as a kid, you know, they're bullied, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, like you are like stupid and bad because you're green, and it's really bad, right?" So you know, they like, I don't remember, do they like beat up Elphaba? They might beat up Elphaba, or they at least call her names. I think they call her names. That's a thing that a lot of kids do when they're making fun of someone. They call them a name, right? Personally, what names was I called in elementary school? I wasn't called names as much as I was just like made fun of for being like I think I had really thick glasses, and that was the thing that people made fun of me a lot for. Like, my glasses were really thick. I had a friend that was like he really liked Minecraft, so I made a Minecraft server in like elementary school, and we'd all play after class at our homes, and then he made a rival Minecraft server and then griefed my Minecraft server. This has nothing to do with Wicked, I just thought I'd let you guys know. And shout out to my boy Connor Chen. Connor Chen, you a real one. And I'm sorry that you hated me in middle school, and my bad. I was kind of stupid in middle school. like I was a huge nerd and I had glasses, and you were smarter than me and faster than me in PE. And I hope you know, Connor Chen, that it is, you know what, like you succeeded in life and you are better than me now. And if that was your goal all along, then I'm proud of you, right? Now, anyway, what does this have to do with Wicked? Bullying. Kids bully Elphaba. She's bullied her entire life. And then she goes to school. She goes to the school called SHIZZ University, right? SHIZZ is a university which, contrary to popular belief, does not teach magic. SHIZZ is not a magic school. SHIZZ is just a school, and they like barely offer magic. It's like I think Elphaba. No, someone goes in for like agricultural studies. I think is like one of the main plot points. Like it is not a magic school. First and foremost, it is just a school in a world that has magical creatures. It's just college, right? It is just a college, right? So they all go and they're all like, oh my gosh! And this is where you meet not child, but like young adult Glinda, who at this point in time goes by Galinda, right? Note the A, note the dash, Galinda, right? Now, Galinda is a very interesting character because she's a little bit self-centered, you know? She's a little bit spoiled, she's a little bit ditzy at times, and she has her core group of friends that she meets while she's there. One of them is Bowen Yang, another one is another actress that I forget the name of, but she was also very good, and they all wear their suits, and the suits are blue. Yeah, Galinda does not wear the blue suit. Galinda really loves pink, and so she just wears the pink all the time, and that's kind of her whole thing. She has a giant thing of luggage, and she's walking around like she owns the place. And she got in. She has her own private room. She's talking to like Madame Morrible, who is like the head master, right? And she's like, I have my own private room. I am Galinda, right? Now, this is the point in which Elphaba is about to walk into school, right? Now, Elphaba is walking in, and she's talking and doing her thing, and she's now, what do you call it? Yeah, like everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's a witch, right? And they're like, no. Well, actually, I don't even think they say she's a witch. At this point in time, they only make fun of her for having green skin. The whole like green skin equals witch thing was not developed until like after she became a witch, which I guess is like also kind of on her, you know? When they're like, oh no, she's a witch, like yeah, like she was. Yeah, like no one was like, oh my god, she's green, she's a witch. They did think that it was like like weird, and they did think that she was like there's something wrong with her, right? Like she was evil because she had green skin, or maybe not evil, but they at least thought that they should stay away from her, right? There was something about it that was very like, oh man, like they're what do you call it? Like they're evil witches and whatnot, you know? And What am I talking about now? What happens next? What?
She lifts the...
What?
She lifts the wheelchair, and then Madame Morrible takes credit for it.
Oh, she lifts the wheelchair. Wait, why does she do that?
Because she has magic. Yeah.
Wait.
Madame Morrible takes credit.
Wait, but like, why does? No, but why does
She
Elphaba?
gets mad because they're trying to take her sister.
Oh yes, they're trying to take her sister, and then she like does magic because she. Oh, I guess she is magical. I guess she is a witch. I totally lied. She was born a witch, and they also made fun of her for being a magical child. I am so sorry. and it was like it was like a whole thing. It was like, oh yeah, like she's a magical child. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, this changes the whole meaning of the movie for me. Oh my god, it really was. They're making fun of her for something she's born. Wow, the parallels. Think about that one. Society. Anyway, now, you know, she's doing her magic thing. Madame Morrible's like, oh, that was me. And it becomes like a whole thing. I think Galinda also really wants to get into magic. I'm not quite sure. At this point, she does want to get into magic. Galinda definitely wants to get into magic for sure. But I think the thing of note here is that she's not good at it, and she's not getting it in the same way that Elphaba is and has been doing for forever, right? So Elphaba is like good. She gets tagged along to be like a magic student, something. There's some sort of complication with housing. I believe it had something to do with just like she wasn't enrolled. Yeah.
She was there to bring her sister.
Oh, she was there to bring her sister, and then she got enrolled only as magic. And again, it's just a normal university. It's not a magic school. It's just a school that has magic. Other people are there for fucking like agricultural studies and stuff. And she's there, and she's like, I'm only gonna do magic. So now they're doing their thing, and they're what do you call it? She's now like being taught at the orientation, like, oh wow, like you should be enrolled, and there's like yeah, it's like you should be enrolled because this is like cool, this is good, you know, like awesome sauce, whatever, you know. And she gets enrolled now, and she has to move into the room with Galinda, and Galinda is very like Galinda's like oh my gosh, it's kind of like what do you call it? Yeah, she's like, no, this is outrageous, you know? She's like, this is bad. I had my own private room. How can you do this? It's the biggest room. It's a suite. It's got like a balcony. It overlooks all of SHIZZ. Again, SHIZZ is the name of the university. It is called SHIZZ University, and they are now, you know, doing their thing, talking, hanging, whatever, right? And yeah, they don't like each other. They don't like each other from the get-go. Elphaba and Galinda are kind of rivals because Galinda thinks that she's better straight up because of like her social status and popularity and all that. And Elphaba is less so sure in her social status, but in terms of like how powerful she is and how smart she is and intelligent, she is actually quite smart, right? Which is the fun and interesting thing, right? So. They don't get along. They don't get along, and then they're both in their beds and they're writing notes, and they're like, they're writing their letters to their parents, and they're like, I think Elphaba, sorry, Galinda says like, dear Mumsy and Popsicle or something like that. It's something like that. It was silly and goofy. And then I think Elphaba just says like, dear mom or something like that. It was just like dear mom or dear dad. I don't remember. I think the dad was the really shitty one. So it might have just been like dear mom. I don't remember. Or maybe it was both. Maybe it was both and I totally lied. Maybe it was both. I fully don't remember. But her dad was kind of an asshole from what I remember. That is a moment in the movie that I do remember, I think. Again, don't remember a lot of it. But where are we? Oh yeah. So now they're singing, and they're like, oh, like my roommate is I have a new roommate. This one is Galinda. She's like, I have a new roommate, and I don't know how to say this, but she's kind of silly and non-whimsical, quite peculiar. And then there's a little joke that's made where Elphaba then goes like, my roommate's blonde, and it's played for laughs. And then boom, cut the song, and it's like, what is this feeling, right? What is this feeling is a song. They're kind of talking about like, oh, what is like the feeling that they feel. Like, it's loathing. It's pure hatred for each other. They do not like each other. They really, really, really hate each other. It's like it's awful, right? There's a montage going on during this song, and it's like, what is this feeling so sudden? And I felt I laid eyes on you. At this first part of the song, they're like talking to each other and like arguing with each other, right? They're going back and forth. Now, what ends up happening from here is, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I'm totally losing my train of thought. They're like fighting for seats in class. They have a lot of same like core classes together. They're like just arguing about stuff like in their room, like decorative stuff, whatever, blah 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 blah. Then Bowen Yang and the girl that I can't remember the name of, but she was also a very good actress. They're like, oh wow, and they do a little dance and like, and they're like dancing, and they have their books, and they're like loathing, and then it's kind of like a poly sound kind of thing where it's like they're singing over each other, classic musical fashion, right? They're singing over each other like. Their harmonies in there, like they're harmonizing. I think Galinda gets the higher harmonies, and they're like, oh man, like you suck, like you're the worst. Boom, the song is over, song is done, and so it becomes a real tough thing, right? It becomes a real tough thing, and what do you call it? yeah, just becomes like a real scary time, you know? Like, oh man, like you're oh my gosh, totally losing my train of thought here.
There's a party, right?
Oh, there's a party. Yeah, okay. So there's like so now there's a party, right? And it's after the oh no, not the party yet. It's the class with Dr. Dillamond, the goat professor.
Yeah.
The goat professor. Goat professor goes and he's now teaching a class. I watched this with my roommate in the room, and she was like, I didn't know what Wicked was about. There's like goat professors, and I was like, yeah. And the goat professor is a metaphor for racism, because they don't like goats. And they're like, you can't teach here because you're a goat, and he's very wise and knowledgeable, but he gets discriminated against by both the faculty and the students because, again, he's not a human. So he like flips over the whiteboard and he's like, what's the lesson today? And there's a thing on the whiteboard that says like, animals should be seen and not heard, I think is what it says, or something like that. Or they should not be seen or heard. It was like animals are like they suck, and it was like animals are bad, like, and it was written by someone bad, right? And it was a real tough time, it was a real bad time, right? And he's like, oh, what is this? And it's really scary, it's really tricky, it's really bad, right? And, you know, it's not good. It's not good. But this is a class that Elphaba and Galinda have together. So the two of them are both kind of just like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. All of the main cast is kind of here, right? Around this time, you also meet two more characters. I think at orientation you meet Bach. Forgot to mention that guy. Bach is this guy played by, I believe, Ethan Slater. And he's a little munchkin, and he's got bright red hair, and I actually think I said little just because his energy, like as an individual, gives off that he's like a spirited, energetic little lad, but he's not. I think he's like 6 foot, so maybe he's like I don't know, but he's a normal heighted man, and what do you call it? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So now it's yeah. Okay. So now we're like it's like a. What happens next? Oh my god. Oh, okay. The party. Well, the party. No. Wait. No. They go into the library. They go into the library, and they're like talking about the library stuff, and they're going like, oh my gosh, like. Look at this cool library. Bach has a huge crush on Galinda, right? And Galinda's like, oh, well, you should ask out that girl over there, and points to Nessa Rose, Elphaba's sister. What? So now there's like this whole thing where you have this like everybody's kind of interconnected, and then randomly Jonathan Bailey shows up, and he's also this like really like spoiled guy. I think he shows up before the library scene because he's like caught wandering around. He's like, look at this very cool establishment you have here. He's very refined and princely, right? And that what do you call it? So he's doing whatever. What time? Can you check what time we have on the phone? How long have we been going? 23 minutes. Okay. I'm thinking we transfer soon. But anyway, so then it's like, this what's it? Fierro is his name, and Fierro is like, he's not British in this, but I think Jonathan Bailey is British, and Fierro is like, oh, I am here to have a good time. Where are the parties? And they're like, this is a university, sir. And he's like, but where are the parties? And they're like, no. And then he sings a song in the library about how he likes to dance through life, right? And it's called Dancing Through Life. And this is again like a cool magical kind of place. So all of the bookshelves are not in a vertical fashion. They are circular, and you have to climb a ladder. And when you're on the ladders, you're not anti-gravity. So the books are just kind of in this like circular bookshelf, And when you're looking at books, you have to like grab onto the ladder and then like grab a book upside down or like slide whatever. Those are used as kind of like a set piece for the dancing, right? This whole scene takes place in a library, and there are people sliding down these like moving circular, not turntables because it's not a table, it's like a sideways turntable with it's like a hamster wheel almost. They're on hamster wheels, and they're dancing on the hamster wheels, and they're sliding down, and they're doing their like, whoo, you know, and I think there's a part of the dance where they're like dancing through life, something like that, right? And they're like dancing through life, right? They are dancing through life. It is a whole wonderful magic little thing, right? The dancing through life thing. And well, what happens next? What happens next? Well, the dancing through life thing happens. Elphaba is kind of in a different place in her life. Like she's not accustomed to this kind of behavior. She is very practical. She's trying to follow her studies. She is a magical individual who's trying to learn magic from Madame Morrible, right? Madame Morrible, again, the headmaster, the professor. And there's this kind of like interesting dynamic because you see kind of later on that Fiyero has a side of him that's like kind of normal, kind of realistic, not this like crazy, I'm just a guy that sings and dances on chairs and tables and goes like dancing through life, whatever. Like he's not just that guy, right? I probably got a little bit of an order mixed up because now I'm starting to remember that there was the dance, and the dance, like asking Nessa Rose to the dance, must have happened before, because there was some mention of a dance before that. Otherwise, how would we know that Nessa Rose? But anyway, whatever. It's fine. It's whatever. It's fine. And well, what ends up happening now is what do you call it? Okay, yeah, well now they're like, well, we're all going to go to the dance. Bo and Yang is hanging out with, again, that one lady who I don't know the actor's name of, but she was very talented, and Galinda. And they're all in the room, and Elphaba is also there, and, oh, no, Elphaba's not there yet, but she enters later. And they're like, oh, look at this ugly hat. Look at this ugly winter hat that I own, right? And they're like, wouldn't it be funny if you made the green roommate wear your ugly winter hat, right? And it becomes kind of a funny little gag. But what ends up happening is there's it's like this funny look out there, like, you should make your roommate wear the hat. So Elphaba now trying to get closer to, or no, Galinda trying to get closer to Elphaba is like, hey, are you gonna go to the dance? Elphaba's like, I don't really have a thing I want to particularly go to the dance for, but I'm not opposed to going. And Galinda's like, I have something you can wear, and the something is the ugly winter hat, right? And the hat is what do you call it? Yeah, it's like crooked, and it's kind of like falling on top of itself. It's triangular in the same way, you know when it's like this rule of cartoons, like sharper edges are meant to be like more evil and less inviting than something round. The hat is very sharp, right? And it becomes kind of this like fun and interesting little thing where it's like she actually thinks that like, oh, like they're getting kind of close, you know. I do have somewhere to be after this, so I say we move trains, if that's all right. If that's all right with everybody in the audience. All right, let's go. Any second now. Oh, anyway, so now they're talking, they're hanging out, whatever. I think at one point the window, like this was earlier on, but they break a window of some sort. They totally break a window somewhere, and. Oh, is this also the... All right, so what happens next? It becomes kind of a, oh, we're on this side? We can stay on this side. That's fine. Do you want to be on this side or that side? I think this side's more fun. Now, just what happens next? What happens next? Well, there's this like interesting thing that's going on now, where it's like Galinda, sorry, not Glinda, not yet. Galinda and Elphaba are kind of getting to know each other a little bit more. they're kind of starting to talk to each other and go like, oh my gosh, like, you're kind of cool. I think at one point, like Elphaba and Galinda like start to, like something happens where Galinda starts to learn magic too, I believe, and that might have been before this point, and that might have been after. Was that a part? Have you guys seen Wicked? Why did everyone leave? Is this not the right train?
What, they asked everybody to move across.
Oh, everybody's moving across? All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back in this train. And, well, what ends up happening now, right, is, well, they're starting to get to know each other. I think something about magic happens. Like, Galinda's now trying to learn magic too. And they're bonding, they're getting to know each other, they're having a good time. And Galinda realizes, man, it's like kind of shitty that I made my roommate, who's just a normal person who's green, do all this stuff, right? Now, what do you call it? What happens next? There is a... Oh my God! Have you seen Wicked? I totally forget what happens next.
No, I didn't.
You haven't seen Wicked, because I think there's like a dance in Wicked. Like they go to a dance, they go to like a prom type thing, like a homecoming, right? And at that dance, it's like kind of interesting. It's kind of cool because
It's
what?
more the Go Guy class. Things get
Does
worse.
that happen yet? That
I don't
happens?
know.
Does that happen before? I think it's the dance first, though, right?
Yeah.
Because by the time that the dance happens, anyway, there's a dance, right? And during the dance, they're all like, oh man, like we're all having a good time, and they're partying, and Fiero's going around the things, and he's like dancing and stuff. I want to do like a bit where I go on here and I do a little like swing, like he's dancing, right? It becomes a whole thing, right? And it's this like fun little game and dance, and they're all having a good time, they're bopping, and there's this like long sequence of Elphaba kind of walking down this staircase and going like she's nervous, she's scared, she's never been to a school dance, no one invited her to go to the school dance. She's like, oh my God, what's going on, right? Everybody's like, wow, I hate Elphaba, she's green, so I don't want to interact with her. But she goes into the middle of the dance floor and she starts dancing, and she doesn't know how to dance because no one taught her, because she never went to school dances because she was green. So she's dancing there, and she looks really stupid, and everyone kind of creates a circle like around her so they could watch her and make fun of her and mock her, and she's dancing there kind of like she's doing like a really bad dance, right? And everyone's like, wow, look at her, like she's not that good at dancing. But then the fun and interesting thing happens where Galinda, right? In the middle of this, like, oh man, she's like really embarrassing herself, starts dancing with her. And they have this really key moment in the film where the two are now dancing together, and they're now like learning how to be friends. And they start off kind of like it's just Galinda trying to mimic what the dance is, you know? And she's like, oh man, I just want to know like what it is that you're doing, you know? I don't care if I look silly doing it, I'm gonna pretend to also be dancing kind of like whatever, right? And then the fun and interesting thing happens where it's like Galinda and Elphaba start like dancing together, and they don't start in sync, but then they start getting in sync, and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, like they're getting real good at dancing together. And then the dance ends, and I think they both look kind of stupid, but like Elphaba leaves like with a friend, and Galinda already has so much social status at the school that it doesn't matter if she looks stupid. Everyone thought she was kind of cool, right? So it's fine, and it doesn't matter, right? Now, what ends up happening here? What ends up happening now is the two of them are good buds. They're good friends. The Madame Morrible is learning all of the. Madame Morrible's learning a bunch of stuff, right? Madame Morrible is like, hey, yeah, like this is a really good. Like you're really good. You're really good at magic. Madame Morrible's like, wow, you know magic very well. No, if you want, like, don't worry. You can sit where it's, yeah. All the seats are free. Don't worry. And there is like kind of this what do you call it? Like really interesting like the two of them are now friends, right? And Galinda's like, hey, you're not that cool. Like, admittedly, you're not that cool. You wear that stupid, ugly little like winter hat. I don't even know where you got it, right? And Elphaba is like, oh man, like, I wish I could just be popular. Popular, that's the name of one of the songs, and it's called Popular, and they're, like, doing their thing, and it's like they're singing and dancing and learning, and Elphaba's, like, learning how to be popular in a school in which she was not already popular, and in a place where she was not very attuned, or she doesn't know how to be popular and how to do cool things, right? They change her outfits, they change her style, right? They change her hair, I think. They got rid of that hat, maybe. I don't remember. But they do all these things, and they're helping out, and they're changing all these things, and they're really giving her, like, a little transformation, right? It's really involved, and it's really creative, it's really interesting, right? And then yeah, and the whole song is like, popular, you're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper poise, how to talk to boys, do the things you've got to know. Let's start, because we've got a long, long way to go. I think those were the words. And then like, they're doing all the things they're learning. Again, they share a room, so, like, she's dancing on the bed, and she's like, here's like this makeup palette. Like, here's, like, some clothes, right? And they're getting really into it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, right? And then it becomes kind of an interesting thing of, like Elphaba leaves, and Galinda is still singing and dancing, and going like, okay, like, she's gonna be popular, and now she's just hitting these really high notes, and she's going like, I don't remember what she said, but I know at one point she's like, la 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 la, or something like that, and then I swear she hits, like, some note that's just, like, really high, and, like, that's the joke. But then she goes into the hallway outside of her dorm, and she's, like, doing little grand châtés and whatnot, and she's dancing and doing her thing. And it's like a dance, you know, whatever, right? Becomes kind of a fun, interesting little dynamic thing that they're doing here, right? And well, Elphaba is now. I totally forgot to mention, like, the one song that was like, when I meet the wizard, here's what I'll do. That was a song that happens earlier. I totally forgot to mention that. Just for like, the record, I did remember that there's a song that starts with, like, a courtyard, and Elphaba's in the courtyard, and she's like, oh, look at me, like, I'm in the courtyard, and I'm looking around at all these things, and oh, that might be the wizard. And then randomly she finds this, like, really secluded little area, and then she's like, oh my gosh, like, the wizard, I want to meet the wizard. The wizard and I are gonna meet. It's gonna be great. I don't remember if this song is The Wizard and I, or if another song is called The Wizard and I, but she does talk about the wizard and herself in this one, so it might be this one. And then at one point there's, like, a little dream sequence where she's, like, running through, like, a field of like wheat, I believe. It's some sort of wheat field, or, like, grass, like dry grass, hay, something of the sort, right? And it's a lot of, like, just, like, you know, they're singing and dancing. Anyway, back to Madame Morrible. Madame Morrible is now like, oh my gosh, you're really, like, good at magic. You just got a letter from the wizard, the guy who's really good at magic, and the wizard is now like inviting her to go visit, and they're all like, oh my gosh, like, you're gonna visit, that's so cool, that's so awesome, like, good for you, I'm glad that you're visiting, right? And, you know, all these different things are, like, happening in her life. She's like, oh my gosh, my life is, like, kind of getting together, you know? Like, I have a best friend roommate. I think something happened with, like, Nessa Rose, in which Nessa was mad at her for some reason, but I forgot what it was. And then, but, like, that got figured out, I think. And everything's kind of figuring itself out. Everything's kind of getting all right, you know? And they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to see The Wizard of Oz. That's, like, the name of the movie, you know? Not this one, but a different one, which you may have seen before this one. But now she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see The Wizard. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see The Wizard. It's, like, her whole dream, you know? It's like The Wizard and I. Her whole thing is that she wanted to someday, like, be a part of something and use her magic to, like, be a good service for people and to do these good things. Right? So what ends up happening afterward is you have like the wizard doing all of, like, this stuff, whatever, blah 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 blah, right? And oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. Well, they're like, oh my gosh, we're all gonna go see the wizard. By this point, Galinda does not have her like ball of bubble that she travels in, so I believe they go by hot air balloon or something of the sort. No? Train? They go by train! They go by train. Yes, they go by train. Anyway, they go by, train! I themed that one on purpose. Now, anyway, they're doing their thing, and they're on the train, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. And right before they get on the train, Galinda, remember, Galinda, right? At one point, she'd mentioned to the professor, oh, the professor! There's a plot line I forgot there. The professor is like, oh, I'm the professor, time to teach class. He's old, right? He's an old goat. And I totally forgot to mention that earlier. They had like a secret society of different animals, and all the different animals were like very like secretive about like their secret society, and they knew that they were being like discriminated against, and they needed a safe space, right? Elphaba followed the Professor Goat after class and was like, oh my gosh, and they trusted Elphaba because she would be kind enough to keep this a secret and to also be a part of the foundation that is the secret society of animals that are in trouble, right? Now, it's kind of a tough thing, the whole like situation with the goats and all that, because now it's like, oh man, like what do you do? Like I gotta keep this secret. The Professor Goat, Dr. Dillamond, is now going like, oh no, don't apologize. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, it's okay. And then, yeah, they like take him out of the room, and it's like the professor's a shiz, and they're all like, you cannot be here. You're not allowed to be here, you know? So they're now like taking Professor Goat out, and all the class is like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Right? They've had some good memories in that classroom, I'll tell you that much. That's where all the main characters go. So they're all having a good time. They're all doing their thing, and there's kind of an interesting thing that happens where it's like, yeah, like it becomes kind of like a thing where they're all like, oh shit, like stuff's gone down, you know? Like there's a lot of hardship and trouble in this world, and there's discrimination, and again, it kind of furthers those themes that you kind of see with Galinda, you know, being judged based on the color of her skin, which I think is a very powerful message myself. A lot of different themes and messages are put across. Anyway, they leave class. Galinda on the way like to the train is like, everybody! I have an announcement! And guess what? She's changing her name from Galinda to just Glinda. Just Glinda, right? And everyone cheers. and they all cheer, and they're like, oh my gosh, her name's Glinda now, right? And it becomes like a whole thing, and they're all like so happy that Glinda is change, like I don't remember what the reason was, but it was something to do with like social activism, right? And she was like, I'm changing my name for the sake of like the social activism in me. I do not want to be tied down by this old name Galinda, right? And the interesting thing that happens from here now is what happens now? Galinda is now like, no, Glinda, sorry, they get on the train, they're like, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. That's a song from the hit 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz. Again, watch it if you haven't. You good? You good? Okay. And, well, now they're in Oz, and they're like, one short day in the Emerald City. One short day, we've got so much to do. And they're like going around, there's like everyone's wearing green. It's an emerald city, so it's made of emerald, believe it or not. Or at least emerald-like things, where they're supposed to look emeraldy, right? And you kind of get this really cool, interesting, like, oh wow, like it's beautiful, it's different than Shiz. We're real far from Kansas, Dorothy. It's kind of a cool thing, right? Now, you have a lot of like really cool and interesting things happening around this time. like they're going and they're like see I think it's like a barber shop or some sort of hair salon or something that they see. They get their nails done, they get their like hair done maybe. They're looking around, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all the shops, look at all the people selling things, look at all of like the working like Aussians that are just like making this world feel so complete, right? The director John M. Chu, I believe is his name. John M. Chu, is that the director's name? I think that was his name. He also directed like the Now You See Me movies, In the Heights, a lot of others that were very good. He directs a lot of very good movies. Anyway, you know, he did a very good job at creating like the mise en scène that creates this feeling of like, wow, this is a grander area than anyone could have imagined, right? There are a lot of people that are going like through this town and through whatever, and it's really interesting stuff. It's really interesting stuff, right? Now, Galinda and Elphaba are kind of doing their thing, and they're they're learning about the place. They go up the steps up to Oz. But before so, there's actually a small cameo with the original actors for Elphaba and Glinda, right? Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel. Now, Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel are both very good at what they do. They do a little like propaganda type play for the people of Oz about how great Oz is and what there is to do in Oz, right? So it becomes a cool, interesting, like, wow, like this is a cool like place, and these people from Oz's past are now helping tell the story of Oz's present, right? And it was supposedly in the edit, I think, much longer, but they had to cut it or something like that. It was a great cameo, and it was quite funny in the theater, right? And anyway, they go up the steps, and a monkey butler is standing at the door, and he doesn't talk, but he opens the door. I believe he might have a spear of some kind, and a little doorman hat. And the door's open, right? They go through. There's a bunch more of the guard monkey people, and they're like, okay, well, what's happening now? You know, like, what's going on? Oz is huge. The wizard is quite the character. The wizard is quite the character, and well, now you got to think to yourself, like, okay, there's a lot of like really like scary stuff going down in Oz. A lot of scary stuff going down in Oz, and they meet the wizard, and the wizard's a giant mechanical wizard that is supposed to like scare them a little bit, you know. It has a very deep voice, it's made of metal, there's fire, there's flames, oh, you know, it's scary stuff, right? And there's this really like scary moment, and then the wizard's like, no, this is too much. It's played by Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum is the wizard in this movie, and he's like, okay, like you guys are here, and you're trying to like learn magic, and I invited you for a specific reason, yes. And then he talks to them a little bit. He's like, I am the wizard, and I'm doing all this wizard stuff, and he's kind of learning all of these things, and he's kind of doing his thing, and he's you know, he's doing a good job at kind of convincing them that Oz is kind of awesome and magic is kind of cool. And there's a lot of just like really cool, interesting stuff that's happening, right? And you kind of gotta think to yourself, like, wow, like this is some really awesome stuff, right? You know, Oz is great. He has like a whole map. He's like dancing behind the screen, which now has like a bunch of like different cool little animatics and all that in the shadow of the screen that he's dancing behind with the light and everything. It's a fun little magic trick, right? And you kind of start seeing this really cool and interesting, like, okay, this is awesome, right? He pulls out a book, right? And he's pulling out a book, and he's like, hey, you're like, what do you call it? Yeah, like what? He's like, yeah, you read this passage, read this passage, right? And Elphaba's like, yes, of course, I can read this passage. I'm really good at magic, right? And it becomes this really, like, cool and interesting thing, where she's like reading it, and then a bunch of stuff's happening. She's like, whoa, what's going on? They're like, keep reading. No, you're doing great. And then, oh my gosh, wait, what's happening? All of the monkeys from like the earlier part of this movie and by earlier I mean like the scene of, right? They're all now growing wings, and all of them are now growing wings, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, oh my gosh, right? Like, what's happening, oh my gosh, like, you're hurting them, and they're like, no, this is good. Like, you're the only person that's been able to read this book. Madame Morrible shows up, or she's already there. I think she was already there. She went with them, but she wasn't walking with them in. But she shows up, she's like, we got her, and now it's like a really scary thing of like, oh my gosh, like, they were evil. Madame Morrible was evil the whole time. She wanted to teach her magic because she knew that she was the only one that would be able to read that book because she's so powerful in magic. You know, they trained her magic and then they used it for evil. And then she was like, oh my gosh, you can't be using my magic for evil. You're the Wizard of Oz. So it becomes a really like scary thing that happens, right? It becomes a really scary thing. And what kind of ends up happening from there is like yeah, like I'm totally blanking now on what happens next, but I believe the wizard. Yeah, the wizard's just evil. The wizard's just evil. They're like, guards, get them, and all of the guard Oz monkeys that were originally just like doormen are now like they're powerful and they can like attack Elphaba, right? It's really bad stuff, right? So what ends up happening now is like Elphaba is like running for her life. Oh my gosh, the monkey guards are now like going through the windows. They're doing all that they can to get her, right? She's running, she's like panicking. At this point, it's been kind of a lack of music for a while because it's a really intense chase sequence, right? Really scary stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, Elphaba, please help me out here. Oh my gosh. And well, you gotta think to yourself like, well, like now. Like, it's scary stuff, right? Elphaba runs into a room. I think Glinda is with her, and they're running together, and they get into like a little barn area near the top of a tower of some sort, and they are like, oh my gosh, what do we do? Like, I'm so scared, right? And now what happens next? There's some sort of argument that they have, right? Was that right? You're making direct eye contact with me. Have you seen Wicked? You haven't seen Wicked.
I read the book.
You read the book? You read the book.
The Oz, yeah.
Oh, like the original, the Wizard of Oz, not Wicked.
Not the Wicked.
Oh, okay. But you know, like Frank L. Baum, is that his name? The author. You know the book. Okay. Did you watch the movie?
No, but it's on my watch list.
Okay. Did it come out in 1938 or 1939? Did it come out in 1938 or 1939? The movie. The Wizard of Oz, yes. I'm not sure either. Yeah, I've been trying to figure that one out all day. Anyway, oh my gosh. Well, what? Woo! So now there's a fun, interesting thing that's going on now, right? They're all getting scared. Oh my gosh, they're arguing. It's like, oh my gosh, what do you do? Turn yourself in, Elphaba. Turn yourself in, right? And Elphaba's like, no, I'm not going to do that, right? She starts singing a little song. She's like, try defying gravity, and you think,
Don't spoil it for us. Some of us haven't seen it.
it's been out for a year. Oh my God, The Wicked of Oz has been a thing since 1939, I think. Oh my gosh.
Don't let them stop your shine, bro. Keep going.
I'm trying, I really am. No, don't worry about it, It's okay. But anyway, what happens next? Yeah, so they like, try defying gravity, and it becomes kind of like a really scary, like, oh my gosh, like, whatever. And you'd think to yourself, because I went into this movie, that was the only song I knew in this movie. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna do the riff. And then she doesn't do the riff, it like stops in the movie, and then they like have a scene where the guards try to like attack her again, and then she starts singing again with like Glinda, sorry, oh my gosh. She started as Glinda, and then she changed her name to Glinda, and now her name is Glinda, and she's like, oh my gosh, whatever, what's gonna happen, right? They're like, oh my gosh, this is scary stuff, this is some really scary stuff. oh my god, right? They really need to figure this shit out. And, well, what happens is they go to like the top floor of this tower. Now that they're at the top, they're arguing. They're like, oh my gosh. At this point, Elphaba has grabbed a broom, right? She's grabbed a broom and she's now like, oh, I might know how to fly with this one. I don't know if we've seen her fly by this point, but she's gotten good enough at magic that she might be able to, right? So we're all like, oh my gosh, is she gonna fly or is she not? And she's singing her like Defying Gravity thing, right? And then she like the guards are like, get her! They jump, boom, boom. Guards are there. They're all like panicking, scary, blah blah blah, blah, right? And then, can I get down now? Oh, that's awesome. Maybe I spoke too soon. You got me? I'm gonna go back up. And, so, anyway, you got your what do you call it? Yeah, okay. So now she has the broom, and they're singing like "Try Defying Gravity," right? And she jumps out the window. The window breaks, and she's like, try defying gravity. I'm flying high, defying gravity, and never let me down. And no one in here or Oz, everyone that is or was, is ever gonna bring. And then it gets really high, and I apologize to everybody here. Me down. And then like I think Glinda's like, no one mourns the wicked or something, and then it cuts back to Elphaba, and she's like, bring me down. And then it keeps going, and then she's like, bring me down. And then she does the riff, and I'm really out of breath. Sorry. But then she does the riff, and it's like, sorry, whoa, or something like of the sort. Do you think you could do the riff better? Do you think you could do the riff better?
Yeah. You know, you're really annoying.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Excuse me, please.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the way the movie ends. And this has been Anything Can Be a Podcast with Taylor Cartago. I'm Taylor Cartago, and Anything Can Be a Podcast. And I'm leaving you with go watch Wicked Part 2. Good night, everybody.